I'm creating a custom Lego set for my dad of my childhood home. This is day 22 working on this thing. Pardon the low-key janky setup. I'm traveling right now, and so I'm working off the laptop screen. We have our 3-channel rules though. 20-minute video every day. Let's start that timer. No editing, and show some progress. So let's get into it. We've been working on the garage here and actually making a ton of progress. Yesterday got that curve figured out, got the door style in, and now we got to do the other one. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So the thing I was stuck on yesterday was trying to figure out how do I attach this garage door. I kind of like the idea of attaching it to the back here, just because that's discreet. The other thought is I could attach it down here, but I want the interior to be visible, right? Or like I want to be able to take off the roof and see the interior, and I don't want that to look funky. So that's kind of my hesitation with doing it here, because I think it would look a little funky. You know what though? We're doing a storage rack here. Here's the reference photo. So this is the reference photo of the outside. But then reference photo of the inside. You can see, let's see, we're really looking at that view-ish. This photo, right? Like we've got the power walls there with the cords going up the wall. We've got that door there with this little room. We got the bike back there behind this storage thing. And so we're trying to do like a storage rack here for all this camping gear. Big campers growing up. My dad specifically was really big. I guess my mom too, actually. Always stories about when they met. And actually, let me just double check. Yep. Okay, we're recording. Wait, that is recording. Yeah, cool. Stories about when they met, how they already had camping gear they had bought individually, and then when I graduated high school, left the house, they still had the same tent. Like there's this one tent that just literally lasted there 20 years, you know. But yeah, and so backpacking especially, a lot of cool stories backpacking with my dad. So I want to make a thing here. So honestly, maybe we do that, because that might change how we connect this, because we could connect both to that. Although I feel like we need something connecting at the top. I don't know, maybe we just need to think about it for a minute, you know, and in the meantime do the storage rack. So we could go 3 wide. And even though they're thin, I'm honestly just thinking about doing this for the racks. Like really just go simple with it. I don't think there's a need to like overcomplicate it and make it more than it is, you know. I'm trying to decide, yeah, let's leave a little gap there. No, that's not a gap someone could actually walk through. And this would be a what? 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that doesn't exist, right? So what about just 3 1 by 5s? So yeah, some stories camping. I really have like literally infinity. So I don't even know where to start. My dad, let's see, we grew up doing scouts. My dad had gotten as far as a life scout. Like it's the second highest like honor badge, whatever. And so he always wanted us, his boys, to go all the way, get an Eagle Scout, the top award you could, because I honestly think it was just like vicarious living through us. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was definitely, he told us he always regretted not doing it himself, and so I think he was worried that we'd make the same quote unquote mistake, you know. And so he was always the scoutmaster, or not always, but for most of the time I was in scouts, he was the scoutmaster. AKA he led all the boys, you know. And I think that was the most Eagle Scouts our troop ever had, like that period of time, because he literally, I mean, he hosted weekly like reviews with every scout, to make sure they were doing everything they needed to make progress towards it. What else did he do? Just did a ton of stuff. He took us camping at least once a month. We were out camping, and we'd go everywhere, mostly backpacking. So camping's a good sport for, or not a sport, but activity for not very expensive, you know. I mean, like, yeah, people can get fancy with all the gear, but it's like he made every boy in the troop a camping stove, a backpacking stove, using aluminum cans and what do you call them? Right, they're literally aluminum cans. Like, he'd cut them in half, and then kind of like it's the same concept as, like, you know, Solo stove. Like, they have that. I don't know, but anyway, with these camping stoves, I won't go into detail. Honestly, this is way too much detail. But long story short, he made these stoves for everyone using just, like, literally free things, just soda cans. Okay, I think that shelving honestly does the job. I know it's chunkier than in a thing, but so is, like, literally everything else about this house, you know? We're really making a short and stubby version. So I think that does the job nicely. Let's just make it gray or silver if we can. But yeah, so he was just really good about, like, making sure every kid could come. There's no money requirement. We did fundraising, you know, but we'd go put out, I think it was like flags on like flag holidays, like 4th of July. All the scouts, we'd wake up at like 6 a.m. or whatever, or meet there, I think, at 6 a.m. and drive around and plant flags in the neighborhood. So honestly, props to him as an adult doing that. Like, that would have sucked, and bro really volunteered for that, just to make sure all these kids could go to scout camp and all that. So honestly, high key props to him for that. Yeah, so I got my Eagle Scout, got a scholarship, not solo because Eagle Scout, but I couldn't have applied for it if I didn't get the Eagle Scout. So that enabled me to apply, and ultimately that paid for most of my college. Like, I could not have, I mean, I guess I would have gotten I had some student loans for my master's degree, but I would have gotten a ton of student loans if I didn't get that scholarship that paid for most of my undergrad. The rest of it was, like, you know, I just paid out of pocket, or like from working part-time jobs through college and through what was the other thing? Part-time jobs in college. Oh, and other miscellaneous scholarships and financial aid. So let's see, tile. So yeah, anyway, actually let's go 2x2 tile, like the corner ones. Okay, so anyway, so honestly, like, that alone made it worth it for me, you know, just the fact that it paid for college. But we had just a lot of cool experience and life lessons. Like, definitely, like, I feel honestly comfortable out in the wild, you know. Like, I'm not, like, obviously you always have to be concerned or aware of the dangers, but it's like I never get not spooked, right? Like, I saw how little you can get by with. Like, with backpacking, I got into, like, I didn't want to carry a backpack, so I got pretty good at minimal packing, you know. Yeah, it's gonna bug me in real life, but we'll figure something out about that. Oh, you know what? What about the 1x1 tiles? So, like, I had some camping trips where, yeah, we're just gonna have to do that. Where I literally just brought a Camelback with a one thing of ramen, one pair of undies, a swimsuit because we were going to a creek, and what was it, like a water filter maybe, and like or in a sleeping bag attached to the thing, and then just laid it out. Slept on my, I don't know if I wore a hoodie down or something. No, I don't even think I had a. I think I maybe put the camelback under the sleeping bag, so I had a little bit of a pillow. But yeah, and it was uncomfy, but it's like it was just an overnighter. It's like a hike down, hang out the thing, sleep, wake up in the morning, eat, pack up, go up. So I was like, less for me to pack and carry about and have to carry. And so, although in that one, I remember there was someone a boy in a scout troop who, he would always just overpack. And so that one, he literally could not make it out. And so as a scout troop, it was like, are we going to get this kid out of here, because there's a canyon, like a hike down in to the creek and then back out the next day. So it's like, how, we did the easy part come down yesterday. Now we got to get this kid out. And so we ended up, I ended up having to take his 40-pound pack and carry that up, and then he carried my water. And I remember being not pissed because I was like, it was something we had to do, but it was like, seriously, like, you can't get out because you're carrying too much gear. And I had an uncomfortable trip, not crazy uncomfortable, like I chose that discomfort, but because I knew I wouldn't have to be uncomfortable hiking. And now it's like I gotta be uncomfortable hiking and uncomfortable camping because I didn't bring the gear, but I had to carry it. So I remember like being so annoyed by that at the time, but not trying to make the kid feel bad. Like I didn't say anything or anything to him, but it was just like, just because it's like he's struggling, right? Like he just needs the help. But I remember being annoyed. Okay. Procrastinated this long enough. Now I gotta figure out how to actually attach this. So I feel like it's gonna be some kind of modified brick. So yeah, that was an interesting one. There's another time my dad would always check these. Like he had this book, like a camp book, that would tell him all the places in Arizona that you could go hike, like an old hiking camping book. But it was an old hiking camping book. And so there was one trip we did, it was a backpacking trip. We were supposed to hike in, I think, 5 miles, stop at a creek, camp there, and then go back the way we came, rather than, there's an option to go around a loop. Oh no, that's what it was. The option was to go around a loop. And so we were like, we could do that the next day for like 6 miles to finish out the loop. And it'd be this 11-mile total thing, Whoa. And just be this cool loop around a mountain, But he ended up, we got 5 miles, nothing. Didn't even look like the book said. We got 6 miles, nothing. I think we got 7 miles. And at that point, everyone was out of water. No water in sight. Looked nothing like the book described. No creek, nothing. And we were just like, all right, let's just set up camp. And then my dad was like, sent out the other boys to just, or sent out a few of the older boys to just scout out for water. And luckily, like thinking back, it's kind of ballsy, Luckily though, he, not ballsy, because like, I don't know what choice we had, but luckily they were able to get, the older boys, one of them found these like algae filled puddles of moisture. I don't know if it was water, right? But like dirty, just like a divot in a rock, looked like it had rained, 2 weeks ago, and just a little puddle of algae water was left. That was all we could find. And we were thirsty. We'd used all our water up hiking up that night, or that day, in Arizona sun, right? It was like 50 minutes north of the Phoenix area, 40 minutes. So not Flagstaff, not like cool forest, like half forest, half brush. I'd say like higher-ish desert, not high desert, And so we got to the campground, or not campground, we made camp, got this water, and then we all followed this boy back down to the water, did our best to filter with like clothes and stuff. Oh, these might actually do it, something along these lines. And then, yeah, tried to filter it the best of our ability. Obviously, didn't work all that well with like shirts and stuff like that. And then obviously still needed to clean stuff up, or still wasn't clean water. So then we did. My dad had a couple emergency iodine tablets, like can clean water, and so he used those, but he ran out pretty darn quick. So then we were kind of left with, okay, now what, and so we were like boiling water, right? Like boiling water to get it clean. And then even after all that, we still, okay, wait, that piece is like low-key perfect. Does it come in the size we need? Or in the color we need? Light bluish gray, of course. You know what? I don't know, we might have to do that. Unless we go white, but like that kind of bugs me. Is there other option is something like this? So yeah, luckily, or like we got some water, or like boiled our water. It was nasty, obviously, but like it wasn't gonna kill us. That's the big thing. It's just not gonna kill us. I guess the other thought is I could do something like this, that just attaches this to the roof. So I'm realizing, like, then you can pull away. Like, that'd be kind of cool to open up the garage, not only from the top, but from the front, too. That could be kind of cool. I don't know. That low-key might be the vibe. Like literally, like you take off the roof and it takes off the garage, too. So you can see from the front and from the top. I kind of like that. I don't know, though. Anyway. And so, whoa, this is a wild one. I didn't know these existed. Does this come in the color we'd want? Light bluish gray again. Oh, we could do that. Which, like, this didn't come in the right color. But honestly, we don't need this to be one it is anymore. Like if we did like a 2x8, real quick, let's just make sure we're not missing like the perfect piece. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's good enough. So where was I? So yeah, we ran out of things. We were able to boil enough water to be good. We all refilled our had enough water to be good for the night. Went to bed all thirsty and like not sure what we were going to do, because at that point my dad's like, I don't know how to trust this book. Like it just proved that it's not accurate always. We wake up the next morning. He's trying to decide, do we go back the way we came, or do we continue onward to kind of who knows what, just because at that point who knows if yeah, like I actually really like this. I can turn that brown, and then this. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna go brown as well. Wait, does this need to be lifted up? And so we get lucky though. There's this park ranger comes by like the next morning as we're making breakfast, packing up camp, and she had more iodine tablets, so she gave us a whole bottle, luckily, and was kind of like, y'all dumb for this. Not really. She was really nice, but my dad was like, ask her, and she's like, yeah, there's actually a freak blizzard coming through, so like y'all gotta get out of here, because like this tonight and tomorrow there'll be a blizzard, and none of us were prepared for cold weather, right? Like it's Arizona, and so there's that piece of it, and she was like, if you continue around this mountain, it's actually still 13 miles or 14 miles. Like we'd already gone like 7 the night before, and so it's like way longer than anticipated, right? And there's a blizzard coming through, and so if she hadn't come through, and she was like, there's no water. Like, yeah, there's a seasonal creek, but like, it's not, like nowadays it's seasonal and it's not that season. So it's like, there is no more water. So you'd end up having to hike 13 miles with a bunch of 12 to 14-year-olds in a blizzard and wouldn't have made it around the next day. So if we'd continued around that mountain, it would have been like search and rescue time, right? So, oh, there's a timer for the day. End of the story. Turn around the next morning, or that morning we were like, all right, going back the way we came, and hiked out the way we came. So we called it from then on. We called it the Barnhart Mile. Anytime we were on a hike and it was way farther than expected, or just the conditions were terrible, not at all what we expected, or just a hike sucked, it was a Barnhart Mile. But you know what? Now I'm not spooked by that, because guess what? Things can get really bad before they actually get dangerous. Which maybe that's a bad, idea to have, but served me well so far. And means I've done a lot that I probably wouldn't have otherwise, that I think was good for me to do. Alrighty, that's it. See you tomorrow. Let me stop this, and goodbye.